For some weird reason, my mother-in-law really wants to go into our bedroom whenever she comes over. On one occasion, I followed her as she went upstairs. I was going to get something for my child as the bedrooms are upstairs, and she walked past the bedroom on the main floor and up the stairs behind it. She didn't hear me, and I caught her walking straight into my room and rifling through bills on my dresser. She denied snooping, even though I had just watched her do it, and she said she was just going to use our bathroom because she couldn't find the other ones. She walked right past the one on the main floor and the other one in the upstairs hallway to go into our bedroom. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key on our bedroom door and one to the door to our office and spare bedroom. However, she's still always forgetting where the bathroom is and trying the bedroom and office door. This really ticks me off. My husband says that I just get annoyed at this because everything she does drives me crazy, and since we've put locks on the rooms we don't want her in, there really isn't a problem anymore. Well, over the holidays we had my in-laws over for dinner, and before they came I was searching for the bedroom keys. We hadn't used them in a while since we only lock the doors when my mother-in-law comes over. My husband told me that we didn't need to lock the doors since she wouldn't try to get into the rooms, and I insisted that she would because she loves to snoop. We went back and forth and decided to cover the doorknobs in super fine glitter to see if she'd try them. I did this once before, but my husband didn't believe me about that snooping to prove that she'd been in the rooms. Last time she ignored the glitter and we didn't say anything about it, but then my husband couldn't deny that she tried to snoop. So this time I covered the knobs in glitter, and for the office went a touch further and rigged a little folder of glitter over the door to the office before the in-laws came over. I left it one side unlocked, French doors, and it was set so if you walked into the room you would get covered in glitter. My husband goes out of his way to show his mom the main floor bathroom when they got here, and specifically asked his parents and sister not to go upstairs. There's a baby gate so the kids can't get upstairs either. Well, guess who had to go to the bathroom and got covered in glitter and had it all over their hands and hair? She completely lost it and started screaming at me, so I yelled back, and now my husband is saying I went too far and that I'm an asshole. My mother-in-law also says that I'm an asshole, but my sister-in-law says I didn't do anything wrong and my mother-in-law deserved it for snooping. My father-in-law is Switzerland. Apparently her car is ruined now too because it's covered in glitter that she can't get cleaned up. Am I the asshole for setting a glitter trap to catch my mother-in-law trying to snoop?
Am I the asshole for giving my ex-wife a large amount of money I won despite the anger of my girlfriend? I recently won a fuck you amount of money. I won't say exactly how much, but it's in the millions. It's enough to change the life of myself and my family. My ex-wife is the mother of my 2 kids. She is an amazing woman and good to the bone. We divorced 6 years ago because I had an affair with my current partner. I was in a low place in my life and I fucked up. She was in incredible pain, but like a fucking saint, she allowed me to still see our kids who mean the world to me, allowed our divorce to be as pain-free as possible. She was actually the first person I phoned after my mom and pops after I found out I won the lottery. She was pleased for me, joked that I could take the kids on a world-round trip, and that was that. Nothing else. As soon as I won, I knew I wanted to give her a significant amount, and I feel like this is some small, tiny way I can show her that I'm not a complete fuck-up. She deserves to know that I care despite my mistakes. She also works a shitty job in the public library, which pays her peanuts. She would actually be able to pursue her hobbies this way, give our kids a better life between us. I haven't discussed this with my ex yet, but long story short, when I told my girlfriend, she was livid, screaming that I'm disrespecting her, accusing me of still being in love with my ex. My girlfriend is threatening to break up with me, and to be honest, I'm feeling incredibly relieved over the threats. I don't plan on changing my plans, but am I the asshole?
When I was like 12 years old, I discovered that wine was made with fermented grape juice. So I snuck into the kitchen and got a bottle of Welch's grape juice and thought, wouldn't it be so adult if I had a bottle of wine in my closet? And I checked on it every day to see if it had turned into wine yet, and then eventually just forgot about it. And then like a year later, I rediscovered it and thought, oh my God, there's a bottle of wine in my closet. And I thought, now is the moment. So I opened it up and it smelled disgusting. And I was like, are you ready to be an adult or not? So I put the bottle to my lips and this like disc of mold slid into my mouth. And I thought, I guess I'm not ready to be an adult.
Am I the bad guy for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? I don't have the best relationship with my husband's mom. Since day one, she tried to make remarks and compare me to her. She then tried to get on my good side and started overly praising everything I do and sometimes even copying me. For example, one time she literally dyed her hair purple just like mine, and when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. So, anyways, my husband and I took 2 weeks off work to go visit some places out of the country. Tourism in other words. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for and arranged for the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets only. My husband's mom wanted to come along and threw temper tantrums when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, even threatened to call the police and make some complaint up to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said we should just take her, but I told him he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. He gave me an ultimatum, said he wouldn't go if she can't come, and I told him I'd gladly call his bluff, which made him take his words back and say, "Fine. I will tell her to stop it because we won't take her." Things got quieter, suspiciously quieter. Then the day of the trip came and we got to the airport at 2 in the afternoon. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He laid me to. Am I the bad guy for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? Things got quieter, suspiciously quieter. Then the day of the trip came and we got to the airport at 2 in the afternoon. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area, and first thing I saw was his mom standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging, and that's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off the harshest way possible. He tried to say I was overreacting and that his mom was there anyway and I should let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him he and his mom could still go and that I was going home. I went home and sobbed into my dog's fur for several minutes. Turned out he booked her a ticket without me knowing. An hour later he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him he caused this to happen. He said that I was being so hard on his mom, it's ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept on berating me, then called my family to tell them that the trip was cancelled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined it for myself and should have sucked it up and done my best to enjoy. Did I really overreact?
So here goes another anonymous story time. Am I wrong for not taking my girlfriend back after she tested my loyalty? So I'm a firearm instructor full-time and my girlfriend is a school teacher. One random day, this girl DM'd me on Instagram, asked me if she could get shooting lessons from me, and I said okay. I picked her up and I took her to teach her how to shoot. She was beautiful and very friendly. We talked the whole time and we were holding a really good casual conversation. The training went really well, but I noticed she was being a bit flirty. I ignored it and I continued on with the training. However, she became very persistent, and that's when I told her I had a girlfriend. She then left me alone after I said that. However, a couple days went by and my girlfriend started acting weird towards me. She was acting like I did something wrong to her, and when I finally confronted her about it, she sat me down with a laptop in her lap and she asked me if I'm seeing anyone else, and of course I denied it. I told her, "What makes you say that?" And that's when she told me she hired a girl to do a loyalty test on me through Instagram, and I was shocked to what I was hearing. That's when she FaceTimed the girl I trained the other day, and I was so confused as to what was happening. That's when my girlfriend told me that the girl said we went on a date and I wanted to hook up with her that night. I was completely flabbergasted because that was not true, and I asked the girl I trained why she was lying. I said, "You do know I have cameras in my gym and house, and I can show you proof that we didn't go on a date." And that's when
Don't Google yourself. One day, I was bored and decided to search for my own name on Google. I have quite a rare name, so I didn't expect to find many results. Imagine how surprised I was when I came across a website that had my full name in the domain www.myname.com. When I clicked the link, it brought me to a message board. I looked at the profile of the website owner and found out that the person was the same age as me and had the same hobbies and interests. There weren't any posts on the message board, but I was intrigued, so I saved it to my favorites. It was about a month later when I went back to that website. This time, it had more content. There were some diary entries, mostly random things, like "the weather was nice today" or "I'm so bored in work," things of that nature. However, as time went on, I began to notice more and more coincidences. The person lived in the same city as I did. It then struck me as rather strange that two people with the same rare name would be living in the same city at the same time. At one point, I noticed that the contents of the diary were quite similar to my own life. One day, I went to a baseball game, and when I checked the website that evening, I found that the owner of the site had gone to the same ball game. At first, I didn't think much of it. After all, tens of thousands of people in the city supported the same baseball team. It began to seem like much more than a simple coincidence. Whenever I checked the website, I would notice little biographical details that seemed to close for comfort. For example, the owner mentioned their pet dog and the dog's name was the same as the dog I had when I was a child. The website owner posted a picture of their car. It had been the same model of car I had been driving when I was in college. They talked about eating at a certain restaurant. It was the same restaurant I had gone to all the time when I was working at my previous job. One day, when I looked at the message board, people had written messages to the owner saying, "Happy birthday." That day, it was my birthday as well. I decided to write on the message board for the first time. Just out of curiosity, I was going to wish the owner a happy birthday and tell him we had the same name. However, when I tried to write something, realized that there was nowhere to type your message. It wasn't a message board at all, just a static page. That's odd, I thought to myself. In other words, whoever owned the website had gone to a lot of trouble to make it seem as if it was an interactive site, as if there were other people posting on it, when in actual fact, all the content must have been created by the owner. Why on earth would someone do that? I wondered. I decided to send an email to the owner. It read, "Hi there, believe it or not, we both share the same name. Nice to meet you." It was just a friendly email. The next day, when I tried to look at the website, I discovered that it was gone. It seemed like it had been deleted. Then I opened my mailbox. There was one reply. When I looked at it, a chill ran down my spine. It just read, "Found you."
So here goes part 2 to the anonymous story time. Am I wrong for not taking my girlfriend back after she tested my loyalty? So when my girlfriend FaceTimed the girl I trained the other day, I was so confused as to what was going on. That's when she said that we went on a date and I wanted to hook up with her that night, and that just wasn't true. I asked the girl I trained why she was lying to my girlfriend, and I said, "You do know I have cameras in my gym where we shot, and my house too. I can show you proof that we didn't go on a date." That's when she confessed that she lied to my girlfriend. My girlfriend was so confused and she asked, "Why did you lie to me?" And that's when her friend said, "Because you don't deserve a man like him, I do." My girlfriend immediately hung up the FaceTime and she started crying. Began to apologize for what she did, and she said that she saw someone do it on TikTok and she wanted to try it out too. Honestly, I felt bad and I forgave her, but I did not want to be with her anymore. I told her I will not tolerate being tested because I never did that to her. I told her, "If you don't trust me, then just break up with me. Testing people makes no sense and it's just childish at our age." She kept apologizing over and over and saying how much she regrets doing what she did. I told her it is what it is, and honestly she has no one to blame but for herself for this course of action. And what really upset me the most is that we have been together for over 3 years and I was just about to propose to her next month. Before I left her, I showed her the ring and I said, "This could have been yours, but I guess not. Am I wrong for this?"
Am I the asshole for telling my stepdad and mom that they shouldn't be surprised at what my little brother said to them when they pulled a prank on him? I, 20F, am an older sister to my little, biological, brother, 17M, who finished high school last year. My little brother and I are really close. He says I'm the best friend he has and he loves me more than anyone. Of course this is not true. He has many friends of his own. My brother has been asking our stepdad/mother if he could get a new car for his grad party since last year, and he said he'd pay 50 to 75% with his own hard-earned money while they paid the rest. They said no. I have a car but I had been working for one. They helped me pay off for it. So my brother's arguments with our parents got heated after a while. One time I told my brother that I'd helped him pay off expenses for a good car once I got my own. He hugged me and said I didn't need to worry and that he owed me way more than I owed him. But he continued to press our parents all of last year until they gave in and said yes like they did for me. Note that our stepdad and my brother have a negative relationship for the most part. Our bio mother and stepdad got together soon after our bio dad and mom divorced when we were little. My brother thinks that stepdad and mother were seeing each other before our real parents divorced, and to be honest, I think that might be true. Not certain, though. Anyway, my stepdad, mother and brother compromised and said they'd get him the car in 2021 so that people don't gawk at him at the graduation party. June this year my brother and stepdad/mother are still on about the car. Now the arguments. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdad and mom that they shouldn't be surprised at what my little brother said to them when they pulled a prank on him? June this year my brother and stepdad/mother are still on about the car. Now the arguments getting loud and lasting hours until evening. My stepdad was getting into screaming matches with my brother over it, but they reached a final compromise of the car being bought last week.
The fated morning comes and my brother wakes up to our stepdad and mom guiding him outside to a car. But not his, our mother's. Our mom and stepdad just laughed and kissed each other. My brother didn't lose it, he didn't even look angry. He just looked dead in our stepdad's eyes and said, and I'm not joking, verbatim, "You might think I'm effing stupid, you might think whatever. But I'm just better than you, bro. You know that, I know that, and our mom is a effing idiot for staying with a prick like you. But I'll make you wish you'd never effing met us. I promise you. You might be laughing now, but you'll be crying later. He then walked off, not even looking back at them as they stared horrified. They asked me what was that about and I, feeling terrible for my brother, said they had it coming and not to be surprised. So now they grounded both of us. I've had to explain the situation to my friends as I can't see them anymore, but I feel so bad for my baby brother and they back me up on this and ask me to comfort him as much as possible. But our parents are so mad, and they can't see that my brother had his heart crushed. Am I the asshole?
What was the incident in your high school? Principal found weed in the boys' bathroom. Called an assembly and told us we had to vote for who we think it was. I think the principal's son got like 98% of the votes. Suddenly the voting system wasn't valid. We didn't even coordinate it, everyone had the same idea at once and it was glorious. During lunch if you picked up trash and turned it into the yard attendant you would get a dime per piece. One kid did it religiously, every lunch, and was tormented and bullied the whole time. Kids would knock the trash out of his hands, push him over when he picked it up, call him all sorts of names, they were relentless. Then in junior year, he bought a '66 Mustang. Not an incident really, but I still have respect for that kid. I went to a private school where you weren't allowed to have your phone on you. One day the vice principal bursts into a classroom and says in a panic, "Quick, I need to use someone's phone." 10 kids got detention and their phones confiscated. Screw you Mr. Kiefer. 2 kids got caught effing in the ceiling. Like they took panels off the ceiling, climbed into the small space there, and effed.